And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're out at the Texas Beer Festival in the beautiful Discovery Green, downtown Houston, Texas. And I'm with Greg from Clown Shoes. And Clown Shoes has been in the market for a little bit, but I want more people to know about it because you guys are putting out some amazing beer, man. Tell me a little bit about your backstory and what people should know about it.
Cool. Well, thank you very much, James. I appreciate that.
Hey, no problem, buddy.
I'm just kidding. All right, we just got started about 2.5 years ago, and honestly, I mean, you might be able to tell by the name, Clown Shoes. The whole thing was a joke. You know, I had an idea. I had a beer I wanted to make, and you know, I'm an owner of a distribution company where we were doing wine in Massachusetts, so I knew I had an outlet for this one batch of beer, and I figured I'd push it through. And so we made Hoppy Feet, our black IPA, about 2.5 years ago, and people just latched on. It took off. They wanted to know what was next.
Well, how did they catch on? I mean, were you just going around, hey, try my beer?
Well, yeah, I mean, because I own the company, none of my wine guys would take the beer out, so I took it out, and I took it to some of the better beer bars and, you know, some of the stores in Massachusetts, like, you know, Julio's, you know, for a store was the first place to buy it. They bought 35 cases of Hoppy Feet. You know, Cambridge Common in Cambridge, they bought 4 kegs of Hoppy Feet, and those were my first 2 sales calls.
Now, did the name alone kind of help? Like, hey, this is kind of a crazy name for a beer.
They didn't care. They cared about what was in the bottle. None of these guys would have cared. They wouldn't have bought it if they didn't like what we were making.
Nice. So it's like, all right, hey, I have this black IPA. Give it a try and see if you can carry it, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think the names and the marketing help, you know, for people to pick it up for the first time when they just don't know. But ultimately, they're only going to come back if the beer is good. So, you know, we try and put a lot of effort into the marketing, but ultimately the beer is more important to us.
Now, you said you started in Massachusetts, but this is Texas. So tell me a little bit about you're working your way down south.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really chosen to do it geographically, which is how most breweries go about it. You know, the first market I expanded to was Illinois and really the Chicago area. And the reason I went there is there was a wholesaler that had been chasing me for a long time. And when I researched them, I really felt like they would do the right things with my brand. And it's a market that, you know, there's 9 million people in a relatively small area, and, you know, they consume a lot of good beer. So, you know, I've looked at more where is beer consumed in volume and where can I find a good partner. And Texas definitely fit that, you know, mix for me because, you know, Duff distributes my product, family-owned company, and they've done an amazing job. And, you know, this state, you're hungry for more good craft beer, you know, and it's starting to come in. So, yeah, that's really my logic and how I've gone about it. So we're sort of spread across America right now as far as, I guess, Nevada, and yet I'm not in Connecticut. I'm not in New Hampshire. So it's a little strange, but that's how I've gone about it.
Now, you talked about the Hoppy Feet Black IPA, but you guys have some other beers. Tell me a little bit about those.
Well, I mean, we've got 14 beers right now, and I'm releasing another 3, actually, in the next month. All of the beers, what we try to do is just take our unique angle on an existing style, or even try and just do style busting things or create styles, which is what we're going to go for in, you know, the near future. So just trying to put a lot of heart into them. I mean, we've got a Belgian White, Clementine, Eagle Claw Fist is our Imperial Amber, which is, you know, 100 IPUs. It's hoppier than, you know, most double IPAs. You know, we've got a couple, you know, black IPAs, Hoppy Feet I mentioned, but also Hoppy Feet 1.5, which is an upsize. We did a whole range of Imperial stouts, a couple of them with some smoked malts, one of them called Chocolate Sombrero with ancho chili, cinnamon, and vanilla. So, yeah, I mean, those are most of them right there, and there are a few others.
Now, Greg, you were telling me earlier about a collaboration you guys were doing with the Petrol Station, which is a huge craft beer station that, I mean, it's very respected around the city of Houston. Tell me a little bit about that. What kind of guys, or what collaboration you guys are doing with them?
Sure. Well, I got hooked up with Ben Fullylove, you know, the first time I came in the market. He's the owner.
Great guy, man.
Oh, he's awesome. I mean, he's the real deal. You know, he's the owner of the Petrol Station. And the more I got to talk and know him and just hear people talking about him, you know, I realized he's also a brewer and that he had some really interesting marketing concepts and ideas about beer in general. And, you know, we just get along real well. So I pitched the idea to him of, you know, would he want to start his brand? You know, with me at Mercury Brewing when it expands, you know, in the near future. And from the second I mentioned to him, he kind of just went crazy, and he's been, going 100 miles an hour in his mind ever since. So we did a collaboration to start with. The first beer is called Pimp.
No, wait. He sent you recipes.
He sent us recipes, and we did test batches of them and made sure he knew what he was doing.
Okay, yeah.
Before we just made the beers, and he knows what he's doing. The beers were good. So Pimp is actually going to be a blend of our Brown Angel, but instead of at 7%, we upsized it to 10. And
that's insane. 10% is nothing to joke around with.
Yep. And then Ben made a 10% Belgian Brown. We're going to mix them together, and that'll be Pimp. We're also going to use some bourbon barrel-aged Blakely Unidragon to mix with a small amount of that beer, and that's going to be Flighted to Pimp. So it's really 2 collaborations right off the bat that we're doing.
Great. This beer you're talking about, are people going to be able to buy this in stores, or is this only going to be available in the petrol station?
No, it's mostly going to be available in stores. I mean, I think we're only making 21.6 barrels of this beer. We'll probably make about 1,000 cases or so, but that's going to have to cover, a whole bunch of markets actually around the country. So this beer is going all over, and Ben will probably be the only one to get draft in this state, but you'll see it in Specs and H-E-B and Kroger's and in a whole bunch of states. Flight of the Pimp, the one that we might make 150 total cases of, you might see 10 here in this market, and Ben might be the only one to get that. I'm not sure.
And then one last question is, how can more people find out information about you guys?
Well, I'd recommend our Facebook page, for Clown Shoes Beer. Also, www.clownshoes.mp4.com. I keep a blog. We have Twitter, and those are the best ways, really, to keep up with what we're doing. Beer Advocate and Rate Beer are also good spots, where you can definitely see what we're doing on there as well.
Now, if there's anything I didn't ask you, if there's anything you could think of what people can know about Clown Shoes.
Well, really, just I'm very grateful to be in the spot I'm in. It's a great industry, and I'm lucky enough to have a brand that's growing right now. And I just want to keep trying to do the right things and ride this wave for a bit, because it's pretty awesome.
We appreciate what you do, and we're looking forward to some more great beers you're coming out with, man.
Awesome, James.
Appreciate it, Greg.
Thank you.
Thanks for the time.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Cheers.